Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitz on TV here, aka G-Lord33. I'm back here with another video. We're going to be talking about the Sasha Banks and Bayley feud that's going on Smackdown right now. You guys have been liking me doing these, little quick videos, so I'm going to keep doing them as long as you guys keep showing support. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new. But the Sasha Banks and Bayley feud is continuing. If you guys want a full Smackdown review, I'll probably do a live stream later this weekend. But things are amping up. I'm not gonna lie though, it does feel like they're kind of pacing this feud a little bit faster than I would like to, because remember, this is a feud we've been waiting years for, and I know that Vince and the rest of the writing staff, they know how much everybody wants this feud. But to me, with what they did tonight, it feels like they're kind of trying to speed this along a little bit, especially with the draft coming up next week. I could be wrong, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. Even though the feud's great and everything, and I cannot wait to see what happens, it does feel like they're fast pacing things just a little bit, but we still gotta wait and see what happens. But what happened with Sasha and Bayley tonight, Bayley was not on the show. She wasn't selling any injuries or anything like that. The way they explained it is Bayley was running from Sasha and she didn't want to confront Sasha tonight on the show. What I thought they were going to do personally is I thought they would do a face-to-face segment with them, with Sasha challenging Bayley at Hell in a Cell, because Ringside News and WrestleVotes both reported that right now WWE was planning on Sasha and Bayley being the main event for Hell in a Cell. And I still believe it will be the main event of Hell in a Cell, especially since we're not getting Roman Reigns versus The Fiend. We're instead getting Roman Reigns and Jey Uso again. And I don't think Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton's going to be the main event either, but I could be wrong. But right now, it does look like Sasha and Bayley is still going to be the main event of Hell in a Cell. But Sasha came out. She was wearing a beautiful, pink tracksuit, and we all know Sasha, when she comes up with these outfits, she's always slaying. But she was still rocking the neck brace, and the first thing that really got me happy is Sasha came out by herself. I've gotten so used to Sasha coming out first, and then only half of her theme song gets played, and then Bayley's music comes out, and then she would walk to the ring to Bayley's music. I'm missing Sasha get her full entrance, and it's just so good to see Sasha by herself. As great as she was with Bayley, Sasha should be on her own because she's just that good. All right, she never really needed Bayley. All right, but Sasha came out. She was, still selling the neck injury with the neck brace. They showed a replay of Bayley's attack on Sasha from a month ago. It's crazy to think about it. It's already been a month since the attack. They also replayed Bayley's promo on why she attacked Sasha. They also showed a replay of Sasha's attack from Clash of Champions on Bayley, just to remind viewers of what happened at the pay-per-view, or for people that didn't watch the pay-per-view at all, that didn't know that Sasha returned. So after this, Sasha stood in the middle of the ring, and the first thing she said was, "Really, Bayley? Did you really think I was not going to attack you and get some revenge at Clash of Champions?" And then Sasha said, "For all the years that I was useless to you," you guys remember when Sasha cut that promo a couple weeks ago at the Performance Center, she was really focused on the line where Bayley said that Sasha was useless to her. Notice how Sasha continues to bring that up in all her promos. So Sasha said, "For all the years that I was useless to you, one thing that you should have learned from me is how to grow a backbone." So I kind of liked how Sasha brought that up. You could see Sasha's a babyface is actually really good. It's just that she doesn't get enough time to actually show her skill on the mic and be that badass. WWE always wants you to be the sympathetic babyface, but Sasha, she's a legit boss. She has that natural instinct to be a badass. So after that, Sasha talked about, and I love this, Sasha talked about how in every single one of Bayley's title defenses, it was Sasha that had her back. Sasha was the one that was interfering And you can make the argument that Sasha is just as, if not more, responsible for Bayley being SmackDown Women's Champion for the last year than Bayley is. Legit, look at the defenses. Sasha was always in Bayley's corner, either interfering, putting herself on the line, providing a distraction, like against Nikki Cross, against Naomi, Carmella, Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss. The list goes on and on and on. So Sasha said, there's no way you would have been SmackDown Women's Champion for 1 year if it wasn't for me, which is 100% facts. So then Sasha said, I'm going to take the one thing that you love the most, the SmackDown Women's Championship. And that's when Sasha made the announcement that next week it would be her versus Bayley one-on-one for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But the end of the promo, Sasha, looking like a badass, she ripped off her neck brace, which I wasn't surprised that she did, but it still looked pretty cool. And then she said that when it's me versus you one-on-one and you can't run, you don't stand a chance, bitch. And then she threw the mic down like a pipe bomb. And that was pretty cool. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. The bitch line it sounded just a little bit forced. She said it with a lot of intensity and it sounded good. It just felt a little bit forced because I've heard Sasha say the bitch line before. She said it to Nia Jax. She said it to Becky Lynch. So I just got to be honest there. So it felt a little bit forced, but it was still great. A very good promo. Was it better than the one she cut in the Performance Center? I don't think so. Like I said, Sasha's great on the mic. She's very underrated, but I don't think this was a better promo than the one she did on Bayley in the Performance Center. I wish they would have gave Sasha a couple more minutes to talk. And it's not like they really had anything else on SmackDown other than the IC title match. So I felt like they could have gave Sasha a couple more minutes, talk a little bit more about Bayley. But Sasha, she gets right to the point. And the big thing is we have Sasha versus Bayley announced for next week on SmackDown. And it's going to be a big SmackDown, not only because we're getting Sasha versus Bayley, but it's the first night of the WWE draft. So I see why they put this match. They want to have a big match to headline along with the WWE draft taking place. So definitely, and people know that this is going to draw a big rating, not just because of the draft, but because it's Sasha versus Bayley. When Bayley attacked Sasha a couple weeks ago, it drew a big rating, and because everyone's been waiting for this, and I cannot wait for the match. The match is going to be fantastic, but in the back of my mind, I'm already thinking, they already announced Sasha versus Bayley for Hell in a Cell. Or, well, they haven't announced it, but all the dirt sheets have already stated that WWE plans to do the match at Hell in a Cell as the main event. So, clearly, whatever happens next week will set up for the Hell in a Cell match. And the way I see it, the way, knowing how WWE operates, Sasha said in her promo, Bayley was not there tonight because he was afraid of Sasha hurting her. And now that they have the match next week, Bayley's not going to be able to run from Sasha. But the thing about it is, the match next week is a normal one-on-one singles match. And Bayley's a heel. And how do you think Bayley has been SmackDown Women's Champion for the last year? Yes, she's had Sasha by her corner, but as a heel, she'll do anything to keep that title. So what I think is going to happen is Bayley's going to do something to get herself disqualified. I would be shocked if Sasha wins next week. Yes, I would be happy, but the thing about it is I would be absolutely shocked if Sasha wins the title next week on SmackDown, because we have the match at Hell in a Cell. I feel like if Sasha's going to win the title at Hell in a Cell, which she should, and that's what I expect, they're going to make that a big moment at pay-per-view. Sasha's never won a Hell in a Cell match, even though she's been in the first two women's Hell in a Cell matches, right? She's going to become a Grand Slam champion. She's going to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. They're going to make it a big deal. Why would you do that on free TV? This is a match people have been waiting years for. And I know the smartasses are going to say, yes, we've seen Sasha versus Bayley before in NXT, and we've seen it on Monday Night Raw, but we've never seen it for a championship. We've never seen it on this level. We've been waiting for this type of feud with Sasha and Bayley for years now. So why would they have the big moment when Sasha taking Bayley's title from her Why would they do it on free TV? It's going to be a big match. Plus, I got to keep reminding you guys, we have the draft that same night. And yes, the draft is going to be 2 nights long. But the big question here is Sasha or Bayley? Is one of those two going to get drafted to Monday Night Raw? That's the thing, because that changes everything. If Sasha gets drafted to Monday Night Raw, I don't see her winning the SmackDown Women's Championship at all. Because why would you have her and Asuka on the same brand as Women's Champions? Unless you are planning on uniting the divisions, which I don't see them doing at this point. They're probably merging the tag team divisions, which they should, but I don't see them merging the women's divisions at this time. So if Sasha gets drafted to Raw, I don't see her winning the title. If Bayley gets drafted to Raw, that basically spoils that Sasha's winning the title. So you don't want to make it seem too obvious. And I would guess, either Sasha or Bayley or either both of them are going to get drafted on that night. But we'll just have to wait and see. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But what I think is going to happen, I think Bayley is either going to win via, disqualification. Because, yes, Sasha would win via disqualification, but Bayley would still ultimately keep her title. Or what I think is going to happen is Bayley's going to find some way to cheat. Maybe, blast Sasha with a chair when the referee is down. Or do something. Maybe put her foot on the rope. She'll do something to defeat Sasha by controversial fashion, which will set up a rematch at Hell in a Cell, because then you can put the story as Bayley can't run from Sasha when they're inside Hell in a Cell, and then anything can happen from there. But I would save Sasha's title victory for Hell in a Cell. If she wins the championship next week, will I be happy? Of course, it's Sasha Banks. She deserves the world. But I feel like the bigger moment would be Sasha winning the title at Hell in a Cell, right? And I think there's still so much more story to unpack here, So what I think is going to happen next week, Bayley will retain, the championship, probably by disqualification or something like that, which will set up the rematch for Hell in a Cell when Sasha will win the championship. After that, I don't know what's going to happen, because like I said, it's all going to depend on where Sasha and Bayley get drafted. If Sasha gets drafted to Raw and Bayley stays on SmackDown, or vice versa, maybe both of them stay on SmackDown. The only thing that I don't see happening is both Sasha and Bayley being drafted to Raw. That makes no sense. Either one of them is staying on SmackDown and the other gets drafted to Raw, or both of them are staying on SmackDown. It's one or the other at this point. But I do think this does end with Sasha winning the title. One thing that is interesting is Bayley's official, 365th day as SmackDown Women's Champion, which would officially mark a year, is scheduled for October 11th, which is 2 days after the WWE draft. So I am possibly thinking, what if, Sasha wins the title, next week on SmackDown, 2 days before Bayley would officially hit 1 year as champion. And then what if they have, maybe Sasha gets drafted to Raw and then she loses the title to Bayley at Hell in a Cell. And then Sasha on Raw has to fight her way back to SmackDown by winning the Royal Rumble. And then that's when we get Sasha's ultimate title victory at WrestleMania next year. I've already heard that WWE's planning on moving WrestleMania 37 to Tampa Bay. All right, they're planning on moving it to Tampa Bay. It's no longer going to be taking place in Hollywood, but they're going to have it in Tampa Bay inside Raymond James Stadium. So the makeup for WrestleMania not being able to take place in Tampa this year. So, that's going to be very interesting. But there's many different ways that this can happen. I am excited for it. Do I want Sasha and Bayley taking place on free TV? No. I want it taking place at Hell in a Cell. But hey, it is what it is. It's going to set up the rematch for Hell in a Cell no matter what happens. We could be getting Grand Slam Banks next week. I don't think we're going to get it. I would be shocked. I would be a little disappointed just because I would rather have the victory at Hell in a Cell. But I'm not going to complain too hard if it happens. I just don't see it happening. Plus, remember, at the end of October, Sasha is going to be in The Mandalorian because The Mandalorian Season 2 releases. So like I said, why wouldn't you just save the title victory for Hell in a Cell and then have Sasha appear on The Mandalorian the week after? It makes perfect sense. It's free advertising for WWE. It makes Sasha look like that much more of a star. So, like I said, I just think Sasha's title victory is most likely going to happen at Hell in a Cell. And then from there, we'll see what happens. Will we get the rematch at WrestleMania? I would like that a lot, but like I said, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of the day. But next week, Sasha, Bayley, it's going to be crazy. And I cannot wait to see what happens. All right? Let me know what you guys think. So in the comment section, let me know who you guys got next week. Is Sasha winning the title next week during the WWE draft, or are they going to save the victory for Hell in a Cell? Also, let me know in the comment section, where do you guys think Sasha and Bayley are getting drafted? Is one getting drafted to Raw while the other stays on SmackDown, or are both of them staying on SmackDown together? All right. Other than that, guys, I'll see y'all next week. We got a lot coming next week. It's going to be a crazy week. We got Monday Night Raw. I also have a mock WWE draft video coming out, so that's going to be wild. Plus, we have the draft next week with Sasha and Bayley, so it's going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell next to my name, FitzMonkTV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you guys later. Follow me on social media. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all later. Stay safe and healthy, y'all. What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back here to the Legit Shoot Podcast, and we have the best guest we could ever ask for. She is the legit boss, the blueprint, the standard, the greatest female wrestler of all time, the one, the only Mercedes Varnado, aka Sasha Banks, is here. Sasha, thank you so much for joining us. What's going on?
Hi George, how are you? I hope your day is going well. Thank you so much for the request and the questions.
No problem, Sasha, but before we let you go, I have two quick questions that I'm dying to ask. All right, I gotta hear your answer to these. I'm gonna make it tough on you. Outside of Bayley, because I know she's your BFF and you've said so many times how she's the best match you've ever had. Outside of Bayley, what are your favorite matches that you've had so far in your WWE career? And question number two, you have so many great ring gears. What is your favorite ring gear out of the million that you've had so far in your WWE career?
That is super hard. You know, Bayley is my favorite
yeah, we know.
All time. But my favorite matches besides with her definitely has to be my Hell in a Cell against Becky.
That was the best female.
That match was just insane and changed my
best
life
female
forever.
Wrestling match of the whole year.
I can't believe that match. I'm really proud of that match. Who else? Let me try to think of someone who's not Becky or Bayley. I've had some really good ones with Ruby. I love working with her. I like Ruby, Ember. I like that triple threat we did.
Wish we could see more of that.
What else can I remember? The one from Boston with Naya. That's one of my favorite matches.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind. I'm just thinking. Sorry.
You gave us a lot of answers.
That's a lot of answers. I gave you an answer. So, no, those are my answers. And my favorite ring gear ever.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
Probably Wonder Woman.
Royal Rumble.
Of course, my Eddie Guerrero one.
Yep. WrestleMania 32.
From recently, I really love the
the red and blue one. Yes.
Clash of Champions.
Yep.
Gear that
love
I
that
have,
one.
The navy one and red and gold. So that's my favorite ones. Thank you so much for this question.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I'm so thankful you're a fan, George. So thank you so much for sending this to me. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you stay safe
for joining
and well.
us, man.
And thank you so much for being a fan. Bye.
Huge shout out to Sasha Banks for joining us here on the Legit Shoot Podcast, man. The #1 wrestling podcast on YouTube, because we tell it how it is like nobody else does. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new, man. Peace.